title down. Oh well. Hey, good
You
morning.
know what? In honor of Pat, let's just do this.
Yeah, because I was like, oh no, I forgot. So, oh well.
Yep,
People know who we are.
we know who we are.
So I'm going to start off. First of all, welcome everybody to the Two-Time Happiness. I'm Time to Shine Happiness Show. I'm
The
really messing
show.
up today. And we missed last week, and we're going to go a little into that because of why. There was a big reason why. But we just want to first of all welcome everybody back to the show this Tuesday with my lovely, wonderful host, as always, Miss Barbara Ellis. Yes.
Hello, hello, hello. Okay, but Barb, let's go back a bit. Who are you, and what do you do?
Oh no, don't make me cry because you know who used to always tell me this. And I was going to
Eh,
talk about that too.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Then
my
I'll then
name.
I'll go then I'll go first, and while you do it, and that's one of the things that we are going to be talking about, Pat, obviously, and
Yes.
this was one of the things that Pat and I talked about for so long was that, like, just be authentic. What you're going,
Yeah.
we're going through some stuff this week
Yeah.
over her loss and the loss of Pat. And
Mm,
so, well, I'm Barbara Ellison, and I'm your personality pro because I'm on a mission to make I'm on a mission to make happiness the norm rather than the exception. And I genuinely want people to live happy, healthy, financially free, abundant lives. And the thing is, part of happiness is about having influence and having income and having impact. We can do it. We can have it all. This does not have to be an either or proposition. We can have it all. How,
yes.
and that was one of the things that Pat talked about so
All the
often. We can have it. We can have it all. You just have to do it in a way that is authentic and
Yes.
in alignment with who you are, not who somebody says you should be, but who you are.
Yes. And I just want to add because this is, we really
Yeah.
want to honor and give memorial to Pat today. And, we're going to be talking about a lot of different things that she would talk about too. And one thing, let me introduce myself because I want to correct myself. I can see Pat already, my angel, saying, you didn't say it. Well, my name is Barbara Beckley. I am over the CEO of the Diamond Factor. My mission is to especially women for them first to understand their PPD, their purpose, passion, and drive in life. And see more and more as this happens, we need to really hone in on that. Just like my co-host said, we have to really be intentional of what we're doing and
Yeah.
impacting people's lives because you never know. And then with that, I help them shine. I'm going to say it, shine like a diamond,
Amen.
put them on platforms like this, interviews, TV streams, and so on.
Right.
So that's we all have our own gifts and our own
Right.
talents, and I know that is so important to make sure you're doing them.
Right.
Don't let things stop you. You never know what days are going to come where you might not be able to get a chance to talk to that person or get a chance to
Right.
express yourself. So you really want to just go for what you're doing and say, you know what, no stopping me, no, nothing, nothing, nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
You know, and one of the things that Pat and I talked about so often was, are you being busy or are you being productive? And I have to tell you, I was just sharing with Barb. I drove home from a friend of mine's this morning, and it was just an hour drive, but a beautiful day here in Chicago. And it was like just driving. The traffic was flowing. I hit green lights. It was just just a really nice drive home. Anyways, but on the radio, it came one of the things on K-Love was that, are you being busy or are you being productive? And so often we get so caught up in what we are doing that we forget to just sit back sometimes and just be.
Yes.
So they were talking about stillness. And I'm going to tell on Pat, and not something that she didn't say about herself, but she struggled with that for the longest time. She was constantly busy. I can remember years ago saying, Pat, when was the last time you actually took a whole day off? She would go on vacations, absolutely, but they were mostly courses,
See, or maybe
workshops,
summits, workshops. Yep.
seminars, retreats, but she was working them. So she
Yeah.
did. And so that was finally, I can remember just in the past year, she really embraced it for herself, that,
Yeah.
we have to have balance in our lives.
Yeah. We do.
Because if we don't have balance for ourselves, no one is going to do it
To do it.
for us.
So true.
And and so the question right at this moment, who is in charge of your schedule?
Ooh, that's a good topic. Who's
Who?
in charge?
Who
Who
is in
is in
charge of your
charge?
schedule?
Ooh. So listen,
Hmm.
think about that.
And you have to stop it. Sometimes and Pat and I would have this conversation. Well, she would say, well, I've got this, and this. Yep.
Yeah.
But Pat, who's scheduling that? Oh, well, I am.
You can
Exactly.
control it, right? What you say, Barbara?
You have
Control it.
you have control. And one of the things that I learned from another mentor of mine, Tyson Sharp, it was like, sit down, get quiet in
Yes.
the morning, embrace that stillness, because
Yeah.
that stillness, in the stillness, is your intuition, your being.
Yes.
And when you can sit in that stillness, you're divine. Now, whatever you call it, in my case, I call it God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit. But
Yeah.
you might be calling it Allah, or you might be calling it divine, or you might be calling it source, or you might be calling it whatever. But it's whatever that spiritual part of you is. When you
Yeah.
can sit down and quiet,
Yes, I do.
get quiet.
I always say the
And
Usha.
so, yeah, Usha, exactly. Your namaste, whatever words that you use to get to that point,
Yes.
that's when I will sit down with a paper and a pencil in my hand. And in my case, it's like, okay, Lord, what do you want me to do today?
Yes.
What inspired action can I take today? Like,
Yeah.
even my pastor's wife yesterday on Bible study, she said, I can remember one time I was going through, oh, Lord, bless this. I have this, and this to do. Now remember, she's a pastor. She's a
It's
pastor's wife. And she's saying, oh, Lord, bless this, bless this, bless this. And finally, he just spoke to her heart and said, why am I blessing what you've got planned? And she said, it
I was
was
like,
an
oops.
absolute wake-up call. Why why am I asking him to bless my plans? I have to bless his he'll
Is it?
bless
Is it?
me.
It's kind of backwards, right?
It's kind of
It's like,
backwards. And so it was just absolutely. And so this morning, as I was coming down, knowing that that I was going to be doing the show, and that we were going to be talking about losing Pat
yeah.
to a senseless accident, and yet that's why they're called accidents,
Mm.
but to a car accident. And so, and I went, oh, this is totally a Pat subject. Are you just being busy, or are you being productive?
Productive. And
Yep.
it's funny because you said that, you like you said, it's a Pat subject because it is. One thing about Pat that I might heard on all different levels, but one thing that she continuously, and I know you can say justify for this part,
Mhm.
Barbara, is that she continuously was growing. She was
Right.
continuously always adding to her knowledge,
Right.
and and wanting other people to get it.
Mhm.
You just tell that hunger that she just had, that I
Right.
know this. I know about this type of thing, business
Right.
and what she was doing, and I want you to grow and know it too. And
Right.
that's what
Right.
really got me. I mean, she inspired me to keep moving what I was doing, because it's like, that's what it is. We take it in, we learn, we grow all the time,
Mhm.
every day.
Right.
And then from there, we share,
We
so
need
we help
we need
others.
to we
Yes.
need to share it out. One
Yes.
of the things that I have found, and I don't want to monopolize this, but one of the things that I have found, so many people but you know what? There's so many people doing that. Whatever it is. So say you're a life coach and you're dealing with, you're a
Mm-hmm.
holistic health coach. Well, there's
Mm-hmm.
so many people out there that are doing holistic health. Absolutely, yes, there are.
Mm-hmm.
However, people, there are 7 billion people on this planet. Can you personally service every one of them? No. You need help.
Yeah.
So cooperate. connect with the other ones that are doing it and see how you can collaborate with them. It's not that you're in competition with them.
Yeah. And
You
we
are
get so get so
collaborating. We get so caught up in, well, what if they steal what if I give away my secrets and they take them? So good. Let it, because then you're getting more people out there that are understanding that we need each other. It's
yeah.
not a matter, and if you come up with something, heaven forbid, share it out there, because we are all going to benefit. We are all going to benefit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
And
we cannot possibly learn everything. And one of my favorite sayings, you don't know what you don't know.
no.
And it's up to us for all of us to get our messages out there.
Yes, it is. That's the yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm a witness. I'm a witness. I'm a witness.
Yeah. I mean, and for some of you, we're probably preaching to the choir.
Well, and sometimes
But
you need a reminder, though, Barbara. You know what? Sometimes you need that
exactly.
reminder. Yeah.
We need to
Yeah.
be reminded that
Mm-hmm.
get it out there, because it's
Mm-hmm.
not about us personally. It's not about this show personally. But you know what? If you can touch one person with one thing, you are a success.
Yes. Yes. Well,
You're
you
a
know what?
success.
I want to, if you don't mind, because I
Nope.
did do a memorial little video for
Awesome.
Pat, and there's a certain player in there too, so you'll know that person when you see it. So I just want to play it real quickly. We'll be right back to
Oh,
talk a little bit more.
perfect. Oh, I'm going to put my glasses on for this.
Yes, put your please do. This is special for you too, lady.
Yep. Good morning, everybody.
Today it's a Pat and Barb show.
I hope you like that. And I don't want. I was like, I better tell him get tissue because I love you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, just she was my first. We did our first personal development training together. Back in 2013. And it was just because she had lost her husband, I had lost my husband, and we were kind of at a loss of who we were, because she had come out of corporate America and was just a workaholic, doing this workaholic. And she talks openly. She talks openly about the business successes that she had, and then the business catastrophic failures that she had, or not that that they weren't failures, but losses, that just catastrophic losses.
Bounced back too,
and that she bounced back from. But we were in this first course together, and then one day they were talking about this course, and I said, "Gee, I'm taking that course," and I think it was in LA. And she said, "Well, I'm going to that course." So we roomed together. And the rest of the story is over the years, we have done so many things together. We went on so many trips together. We went on the marketers cruise together. And so often I would be thinking about something and the phone would ring and she would say, what do you think about this?
Wow. It was just, yeah.
It was like
the connection.
Yeah. And some of the little things, like her thing was Corner Office University. Mm-hmm. One day we were talking and she said, I don't know what to call, I need a name, one of those things. We need a name, And we were just talking, and I said, well, Pat, you're a business coach. And what does every business executive want? They want the corner office. How often do you hear that in movies and stuff? Oh, yeah, go for the corner office, because the
Yeah.
corner office is the symbol of success. Oh, when you reach the pinnacle and you get the corner office. And the next thing we knew, she had it all.
Wow.
Corner office university, corner office, everything. And and that came from me. And I can look back on so many things
Yeah.
that came from her. And it
Yeah.
was like, wow,
And
you
and and,
know?
and then just take, how now you said earlier, and I was just thinking about this, because it is we look at it as a loss because she's gone. We don't
Yeah,
really be able to talk to her in person.
right.
But I always think that she's not really gone.
No, no.
It's just like how you're talking about all the wonderful
Yeah,
things you two did, the
yeah,
things you learned together, the ideas
yeah,
that you had together.
yeah.
I mean, I'll never,
Oh,
for
yeah.
moving forward, Barbara, I'm going to always remember now, just like you reminded me today, is to introduce myself and make sure
Right.
that I put that out there, because you know what Pat used to do to me all the time when we
Oh,
had the monthly diamond panel
exactly.
discussion. She said, okay, and Barbara, who are
And
you?
who are you? And the funny thing is that when Pat and she used to do it to you, but I used to do it to her.
Oh, okay.
Pat, I'm going to tell on her because Pat, and I know that she's
You
laughing.
see, you gonna tell her.
She's laughing. I'm going to tell on her because one time we were doing a show and she says, well, Barb, she says, we have to lift up our guest. Exactly the same thing that you would say. Oh, but we have to, lift up our guest. And yes, absolutely. When you're working with somebody, you really want to showcase them and let them shine because they're part of your tribe and you want to exalt them, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but Pat, when they share it out to their audience, they don't know who we are. We have to introduce ourselves so that their audience finds out who we are.
So
And she went,
okay. So
so she,
the
and so she was like, oh yeah. And Barb doesn't do that either. So I'm going to tell her. And she was like, yeah, Barb, you have to say who you are, because it's not about, because you know who you are, but the people listening don't know who you are.
Well, thank you for telling me that, little. So both of you were on the same.
We
She
were all
started
on this.
you, and she
We
started
were,
me. That's cute. How it went to that.
but that's exactly it. That's the chain.
Yeah,
And
that's
it was
it.
just so funny because because you know what, back to, you don't know what you don't know, and
Yeah.
you have to when you hear a little deviation of an idea that you've had,
Mm-hmm.
oh right, and you
Mm-hmm.
get a new awareness.
Yes. Yes. And see, and that's why we need each other. See, this goes
Right,
back to understanding, building. I want to talk a little bit about before we got our time is up, building those relationships and
right,
making sure, like you said, Barbara, a while ago, taking the time in your busy schedule, because that's the new word of the century all the time. I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. And then
mm-hmm.
what has to happen, stuff like this sometimes stops us to say,
Yeah,
okay, am I really that busy? What just happened here? What did I just do?
right,
Oh my God, and then
yeah,
you feel all that other stuff that you don't want to feel, like the guilt, and some people feel
yeah,
guilty and this and that. And it's like, no, we need to, like you said, Bar, have that balance,
right,
because,
right,
we're so busy doing our business and, helping people and
mm-hmm.
everything, but, where are the virtual hugs? We need to reach out.
Right,
I was doing
right,
last week with you, and I was like, you know what? This has to continue on. I
right,
mean, just be, we lost a wonderful queen. I
yep,
call Lady, she was queen
yep,
royalty.
yep,
But that should start us in our head to say, you know what? I want to make sure I talk to the other queens. I want to make sure I reach out. I want to make
right,
sure I'm saying, are you okay today? I just was
yeah.
thinking about you today. We have to continuously do that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And so often, and a friend of mine, when all of this happened, she said, you know what? And the sad part, she said, I feel so bad. She said, I thought of Pat on Friday and didn't reach out and she was gone on Saturday.
Oh, see, that's
And so now she has to live with that. So my thing to you now, and that I have really from this, because I have to share with you, like I've had death in my family. I've lost my parents. I lost my husband. But I had warning. I knew it was coming.
yeah,
This was the first time that I
bipolar.
had a sudden
Yeah,
loss of someone so close to me.
yes,
Sudden.
it's, yeah.
And so now one of the things that I've really realized from this is that when I think of somebody, when their name pops into my brain, we have
Uh-oh, Barbara, I lost you. Uh-oh, I lost you.
though I'm still here. There I am.
Okay.
My phone,
I'm sorry.
I forgot to turn off my phone. Um, where was I? Oh, where was I? Now see, I'm blank. But when I know when you get that little voice that when somebody's name pops into your brain, we have instant messenger, we have text.
Yeah.
Hi, I was thinking of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. And just
It
hi,
doesn't have to be
I was
long.
thinking about you. It does not have to be a long involved. And now with Siri, text Barb Beckley. Hey, how you doing? Done.
See, we're spoiled. When you think about it, Barbara, we're
We are
spoiled because
spoiled.
there's so many different ways to communicate now. So there's really not like, well, I could do it. Well, you could even talk to somebody else and they can do it for you. That's how funny that is.
Exactly. I mean, you could, like, I have to admit, today with Siri, it was like, Siri, call, as I was driving. I was driving. Siri, call.
I said, yeah, call
There's
back.
no excuse. So call home.
Yeah, call home, call Barbara, call. I mean,
call
you could. It's so
whatever.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah. So really, when you think about someone, when somebody's name pops into your brain, and then on the other side of that, you'll get in touch with them. Just send a quick hi. I was just thinking about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
I
I was
always.
just or I was just praying for you, or whatever it is that you do. The other side of that is when sometimes you can be doing just the most mundane thing. You can be washing your dishes, scrubbing a floor, whatever it is that you're doing, and a thought will come into your head. We how often do you go during the day without having your phone on you? Hardly ever. Siri, take a note.
Like, see, Siri's
And
gonna
then
be my new friend.
Siri is your new friend, and just, hey, this is an idea. An idea just popped into my head. Then when you have time, when you're finished doing whatever it is you're doing, then you can go back to it and say, okay, is this a legitimate idea? Yes. Is this a legitimate idea? No, I'd never do that. Okay, fine.
What you say? Okay, that's to the
Or you
side.
say, yeah, no, this is, yeah, I might do that, but not right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you catalog it,
See,
because
I like that.
ideas come back to you and go, you know what? I thought of doing that last year.
Yeah.
Oh, and now it's come back again? Or I thought about doing that 2 weeks ago, and now it's come back again. Maybe I really should look at this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If it keeps, that's like
If it
confirmation. Yeah.
Right.
And then
If it
sometimes.
keeps coming back.
Right. And then it's funny because even comes back to you, and then you know how sometimes somebody else just don't even know what you're thinking about or whatever, and say something. You be like, wait a minute, I was just thinking about
I
it. Now they
was
just said this. That's
right.
okay. Yeah, I gotta really take heed now.
And
Pay attention.
that's where collaboration comes in. That's where collaboration comes in, because the universe is limitless, and we're all part of the same consciousness.
Yeah, so true.
Just so when you're open to it, and then write it down. Just Siri, take a note.
Barbara, you keep talking about Siri. I'm only thinking about Siri all day now.
Yeah, exactly. But it's on your
Siri.
phone. Siri, take a note.
See, now just going back, now I got to go back to our relationship. So,
Yep.
some
Look
people
at
know the story.
ours is a case in point.
Case in point, case in point. So we met each other, and I'm loving this because I told myself, I said, I'm not gonna let this go. So we met each other through an organization that I kind of started a chapter in Chicago, Illinois, called Women's Prosperity Network.
Yep.
And as always, my mission is to bring the women together. We all come and we learn things. And Barbara came to one of the meetings, and then she continued to come. And we,
Yeah.
became close. We were talking. We've seen a lot of things that we really inspired both of us, especially with the speaking and
Yep.
getting to know each other. And that's when I found out about the bank too. I mean, you
Yeah.
started getting into that, which I was like, ooh, that was
Yeah.
like you opened me up to a whole new world after you brought that
Yeah.
to me. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow. But then I had things happen in life where you have to move
Exactly.
forward.
That's
So
right.
I just really wanted to hone in more on the diamond factor. And, me and Barbara kept saying, oh, we got to do something. We got to get together, collaborate. But then, with things happening, we kind of, did
Yeah.
our thing,
Right.
separate.
Because
And
timing is everything.
timing is, see, this is, Barbara, thank you. You had to repeat that. Timing is everything. And then, for a while, we didn't speak for a while, not
Mm-hmm.
because we were upset or anything. We was just busy
Doing
with
our
other
busy.
things. But then I always had in my head, I said, I know me and Barbara are supposed to be doing something together. We supposed to collaborate somewhere. So I came to her again. We came back and we found out, okay, it's the time. And that's when I started talking about the shows under the Diamond Factor.
Yeah.
And then this is what populated with this show. So
Yeah.
I'm just again
And
listening to
right.
what's going on in
Right.
your mind and your head. Yeah, right
Right.
there in your heart.
Yeah. And this show is almost a year old.
I know we're gonna be
June
celebrating
June
anniversary.
23rd. June 23rd.
We gotta have a little party here. I'm gonna have to.
We're gonna figure out something to do.
Yeah, we
And
gotta do something.
and you just exactly. And we're the BBs.
We're the be
And
and every
and
Barbara, I'm hearing it around. People message me. They said, "I love the BB show." I said, "But it's time to shine." Everything. So they said, "No, I look at it as the BBs. I'm leaving.
it's the BBs.
It's just easier saying the BBs."
The BB show.
I said, "Hey, you know what? I'll go with the flow. I like it too."
One
Yeah.
of the things that I learned several years ago was that people will identify you by what they like about you. And so one of the guys that I worked with, and he was always, but that's not. And then all of a sudden, it's like he said, "Fine, I have to embrace this because that's what they call me." And we're the BBs,
Yeah.
and we're the
I said, I don't
BBs.
correct no more anymore, Barbara. I just be like, you know
Nope.
what? If they
Yep.
think with the BB
We're the
show,
BBs.
I'll keep it with the BBs.
And we should probably add it now to our name. We're the BB the time. Oh, that's what we should do. Time to Shine Happiness Show with the BBs.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I like that.
With the BBs, Barbara Ellison and Barbara Beckley. We have room.
Yeah.
See, and look at this, a person of action. See, and when you think of something, do it right away. That's my other tip for today. Do it. Don't think about it.
Don't think, see, and I love that.
It.
That's what I love that about you. It's like you get the idea, Barbara, and then you say, okay, boom, let's do it. And a lot of times we think about it, but we don't put into action. And I like it. You're an action taker. You just.
Yeah. And
yes.
Yet, because so often I can look back on times that, why didn't I do it?
Yeah. See, and then
why didn't I do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there are little pivotal moments in our lives that one little pivot, which is in some ways such a small thing in itself, but it changes the direction, that changes the directory and the direction of your life. Yes. Like one of the things on the radio, I had an hour drive this morning. So on the radio this morning, they were also talking about what is one thing that was a pivotal impact. And I can remember one day I came out, and this was part of my faith story. One day I turned on the TV and a woman happened to become, it was an infomercial, and it said, do you feel like you have everything and yet something is missing?
Mm. Mm. I was like,
Barb, that hit me like a ton of bricks,
I know.
because I was like, yeah, I have a new husband who loved me, who just loved me to death. We had moved into a beautiful home. I had a business that was growing at the time. We were doing a business together. We were just growing, and it was in wellness. So we were helping people to get their health back, all
Mm.
those things. And when she said that, I was like, yeah, because I grew up in the church. I grew up going to Sunday school. I grew up, my parents were in charge of the children's ministry. So we worked with the babies and up to the 2-year-olds, and we just did all sorts of things. I'm Canadian. I joined Canadian Girls in Training. It was all about, but I never knew the relationship. So we're getting back to the relationship. You can know
Yeah.
someone, but you don't know them because you're not in a
Yes.
relationship with them.
Yeah.
And that was kind of how I was. And in that moment, it was like, yeah, I better. And I went out and bought her book. And that started my spiritual journey to get in touch with my higher power.
Mm.
And from that, all of this has happened. So now I am in touch with my higher power. I know who I am. I know I know where I'm going. I have direction. I'm open. And that's the biggest thing. Be open to the
Yes.
directions.
Yes.
And that's where the stillness comes in.
Yeah.
Be still
Be still.
and
You
be open.
have to. You have to. I always tell people, anybody I'm talking to, I said, I always tell them, I said, you need to go to a room where it's nice and quiet, wherever you feel comfortable. If you want to put on a little nice music, whatever you need to do, but you need to be still. And you need to really just let get your mind and let your soul just do that
Yeah.
relaxation. Because that's where
Yes.
everything starts to come after that. Because now you're just at that peace moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Pat, this was one of her biggest things, especially lately. If you don't take care of yourself, no one is going to do it for you.
Yeah, she used to tell me that. And one time she texted me that. She said, Barbara, are you taking care of yourself? Because no one else gonna do it for
Because
me.
no one else is going
I
to.
said, oh no, here we go. And another word of wisdom that's coming my way.
Exactly. And like,
Yeah.
I know just even a few months ago, she did a thing that it just rocked my world. When she was doing her show on how to set up your schedule.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Ooh. That's what I needed.
And I was like, oh, yike. Because, yeah,
Yeah, I
how to
see.
set up your schedule. Because is silence in your schedule? Is taking time off in your schedule?
We
Or
had to
are you,
schedule that.
and you have to schedule, like now on my schedule, I schedule stitching time. I like to crochet.
Oh, I didn't
And
know the seed. That's
yeah,
so good. I didn't even know. Okay.
and I crochet baby blankets because they're
Oh.
fun. So I've made hundreds of baby blankets.
Oh.
So, but now I schedule
Schedule to do it.
time. I schedule it. And yes, I will multitask a little bit just because I can listen to something and have something on that's a whatever, whether it's a sermon or whether it's a webinar or something that I want, because you'll still pick up things even though you're not totally,
Well,
but
yeah.
I schedule that time that this is I am going to stitch. And
Wow.
even if it's just for half an hour, and then I'll listen to something while I'm doing, although sometimes that's what I'll ask. That's where it ask direction before you do it, because it's like, okay, should I be quiet now, or should I listen to something? And the answer will come.
Yeah. Yeah, because
And
there's a few
sometimes it's
times
be
that
quiet.
yeah, I was about to say that, bro. Because sometimes, because I like my little jazz music in the back, real nice.
Yeah, yeah,
I always talk
right.
about jazz music. But then a few times, I know it was God telling me. He said, "I just want you to be complete silence. I don't want
Just quiet.
no music, nothing, just silence."
Yeah,
And I'm telling you, it felt like an uplift, bar, because I was like,
right,
I didn't really understand I needed that.
right.
And
We
yeah,
need to be quiet. We
yeah,
need be still. It says in the Bible, "Be still and know that I am God." Be
yes,
still. In this, one of the very first Psalms that I ever learned in school was the 23rd Psalms. So 23rd Psalm. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul.
Ugh,
Because no one is going to do it for you.
yeah.
Be
Just you saying that, I
still.
just felt the peace. As soon as you said it, it's like,
Just
wow.
be still. Yes.
Yeah.
And it just, and you, and all, and really so, and it's always so fun when people say, well, how do you do that? Breathe.
I like I was about to say, bro,
Just
you're gonna
breathe.
say this big long, and all you said was breathe.
Breathe.
Some things we think that has to be so deep. It's just so simple. It's like just
Just breathe.
breathe.
Take
Just breathe.
3 deep breaths and breathe from your diaphragm. Breathe and then sit and breathe. And feel the stillness. Feel the difference in the energy. That is what is so uplifting. And you can do that for 3 breaths, 5 breaths, 7 breaths, half an hour, an hour. That's up to you. You might start with just the 3 breaths and then feel the feel the stillness.
I might after we end, I'm gonna have to go and do that some more. That felt so
It,
good.
it
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And so, and it's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple. We always try to complicate
Yes.
try to complicate things. I know with me when I was trying to discover my purpose.
Mm.
Oh, I was doing so many things to try to find my purpose.
Mm.
Well, start by getting still.
Yes.
Your purpose will find you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know me. I'm on the purpose kick, and I tell people that just because some people ask me, well, what like you said before, Barbara, what should I do? I don't know what to do, Barbara. They didn't talk about me, Barbara, and I
Yeah.
was like, well, the first thing is that you need to hone in on what your gifts and your talents are in you, and believe that you have them. See,
Right.
I'm finding out a lot of people, Barbara, they don't really, they're so busy everywhere else and they don't believe the fact that they have greatness in them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we believe, as we do, we believe in God and Jesus gives
Right.
us that greatness. But then once we know that, we need to own it.
Right.
And then that's where the true purpose comes out because now you're loving you, you're knowing what you do, you know the gifts and the genius that you have.
The thing is, don't you find, because otherwise we can talk about this for hours, but let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah.
So often the thing that is your special gift,
Mhm.
you don't think of it as being a special gift.
Oh,
It is just something that you do because
yeah.
you're good at it.
Yes.
Okay, people, I'm talking to you here. There are people out there that would kill to know what you know how to do because they don't know how to do it. And they want to know how to do it. Get your message out there.
I love it.
Get your message out
You
there.
heard it from Barbara. Barbara Ellis told you, listen to her. She's
Get it
so
out there.
right to listen. Sometimes
And
you just want to just shake people like, would you listen? You got a gift.
just listen, because we all, and all of that. Can you tell I'm yelling at myself in some ways?
Well,
Because
yeah, me too. Yeah,
I was
thanks for
like
yelling at
that.
me. I appreciate that.
I was like that for so
I
long. It
love
was
it.
like, but what if I say something wrong? Oh well, then you're human.
Yeah. Barbara,
I
I
mean,
was really bad about that because first of all, I had the peoples in my ear when at a young age, as
right.
you know, and then
It's up
myself
here.
got in my head. Yeah.
Yeah.
And every time I would speak, I'd be like, oh, that didn't come out right. I know that didn't
Yeah.
sound right. They're not going to
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying. It was just the
Right.
list went on, and then I would just close up.
But one of the things that I'm going to share with you, okay, right now there's, we said there's 7 billion people on the planet. There's over 3,600 languages.
Mm.
Okay, but there's only 4 basic personality codes. You are going to resonate with the people that are your personality codes, and those are the people that you're going to attract.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people you want to attract. They're the ones that will hear your voice and your message. You can learn how to relate to the other ones. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to attract the techies. I am totally a non-techie. I'm learning. Absolutely. I am
You are
learning
so
how to
much
do
more than before, Barbara. I'm telling you.
so much more.
Yeah.
Because I'm having, I'm having to learn it because I want to. I want to work with people of all the codes.
Yeah.
But talking to them about science and tech is like not something that I do. I'm having to work on my blueprint part, which is being organized.
Mm-hmm.
Blueprint people are organized. They love structure. They love, they just love having a system. Well, I'm not so good at being organized, but I'm learning.
Yeah.
And that's the key. Be open to learning. Well, you know
Yes.
what? How can I learn if somebody out there is not willing to step out of their way and teach me?
Uh-oh, here we go.
Get out of your own way. You have something that you can teach somebody. I don't care if it's how to train your dog not to poop in the bathtub. There's something for everybody.
It is a gift.
It's a gift. It's a gift because you have it. Just because you think it's ordinary, that isn't that the key. Most people think that what they do is ordinary.
See, that's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is,
Like,
Barbara.
people say to me, and I know that they have said it to you, how could you possibly stand up in front of people?
Oh, yeah.
Well, because it's something I love to do, and it's something that I do. I would just die I would just die if I had to stand up and give a speech.
Yeah. Well, you heard, what's the thing that they always say that they said, the biggest fear is not dying, but the fear is standing up and public speaking. And I was like, wow. So somebody would rather die than to be up there and speak?
Exactly.
It's like, oh no, that's not good. It's not good.
But the thing is, though, you can learn. Like last night, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she said, "Oh, I'm really struggling with doing Facebook Lives." And I said, well, then don't do a Facebook Live. Start with doing a 50-second video on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody knows you. You don't really use Instagram a lot, but it's a great practice place.
Yeah.
You will practice. So practice doing, because you can only do a 50-second video. Do one every day, 50 seconds. It'll get you, and if you fluff it up, so what, but make sure you post it.
Everybody's authentic nowadays, so it's
just do it. If you fluff it up, so what? I think I've told you the story. One day I was doing a presentation in front of a live audience, totally went blank, looked out at David. Luckily, he was sitting in the second row. I looked out at him and said, David, what am I trying to say here?
And you know what? When you do that, some people be like, well, that was part of the whole, some people think that, oh, maybe that was part of the whole presentation. And it works out. It works.
And because it made them laugh. You never know. People don't know if you have flubbed up. Only you know that you've flubbed up. Just go on. People don't know it. They'll say, oh, no, that was wonderful.
Good. I'm glad you brought that. See, you always got some good wisdom stuff. So I'm glad you brought that up because, like you said, only you know that you missed it or whatever on a piece of paper that you was writing or your
Yeah.
presentation. No one else
Yeah.
knows that. So you can
Right.
play it off into, and I've done that so many times.
Right.
So
And
many
you
times.
and don't you think, Barb, one of the biggest things is do not memorize.
Oh, yeah,
Please,
people,
please,
but
please
you have people, you
do
have coaches and
not
everything tell you,
memorize.
memorize, memorize. And I'm like, I just can't, I don't work that way.
Because if you lose track in your memory,
Oh,
you can't get back. You can't get back. Know your stuff. Absolutely know your outline.
mhm.
Have little triggers that
Right.
that would fit there.
Yeah.
Because then and you can have you can have a flow of what you're
Mhm.
going to do. Like today before we came on, this is what we said we were going to talk about, but we have no script. But we said we were going to talk about this and this. Have a semi plan.
Well, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I'm not saying totally just go,
Yeah,
you know.
because going cold turkey and just picking up the phone and doing it, I've done that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because you just come across as that you're just rambling and
Yeah, yeah. And some
have
people don't want to hear the
have a
ramble.
plan. And people
Have
don't want to hear
something.
the plan. And and I've heard some famous people do it.
Oh yeah, me too, Barbara. I was like,
Oh,
okay.
ooh,
And you can tell.
what?
It's
And you
it's
can
funny. You can really
tell.
tell people that are just like so somebody just to have a point. I'm like, okay, you can go in your stories, but have a point. Just somewhere.
But
Where are we
have
going
yeah.
here?
Where
Yeah.
we what is this? Like this show was about this episode here of this was about honoring the loss of a friend, the
Yes.
things that she taught us, the things
Yeah.
that we can learn from each other, the things that we want to talk about, and don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Pat was that was one of the
It's
things that
fearless.
I can hear her saying to me, Barb, just do it.
Yeah.
Barb, just do it.
Yeah. And you know what, Barbara, I love that, because, I always say, this is why I always say, any type of, what happens in your life, a loss or tragedy, the earthquakes, I always say among us, that's going to
Mm-hmm.
happen, which happened last week.
Yeah.
Own the emotions,
Yeah.
because we're human. We're going to feel it, especially
Yeah.
people that we love and we care about. You
Yeah.
owned your emotion.
Yeah.
I just have to say before we sign, because I know we've been on for a while today, but we wanted to flow because of our friend too. But you owned your emotions. And this is
Yeah.
something that's, I want people, like you said, we say things so people can give hope and learn, and maybe this will
Yeah.
catch on to other people. But you owned it last week when you made that
Yeah.
phone call to me
Yeah. I
and
could.
told
There's
me,
no way I could have.
I,
No way.
and I just, and the first thing I was thinking about, first of all, I was just in a fog after you told me, because you know how the first time it hit
Yeah.
you, you were like, "What are you talking?" First I was like, "What is you ever talk? Huh? I don't
Right.
understand." I was like, and then I'm
Yeah.
looking up at God. I'm like, "What's going on here?" And then once
Yeah.
it kind of sunk in, and then the emotions started coming up,
Right.
the crying,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
oh my God type of thing. But then the one thing that God showed me right at that second when we were on the phone before we hung up after you told me the news is that I said, I have to let Barbara know I'm there for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is not about Barbara Beckley. This
Right.
is about Barbara and what she's dealing with right now, and a
Yeah.
good friend that we both lost. So I'm saying that because it's still, how some people said it's all about me. No, it's not. Still not
It's
about
not.
you. Even
Yeah.
at the moments like that, you still have to be there for your friends. You still have to just say, you know what,
Yeah.
whatever I can do. What can I do for
Right.
you? What do you need?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
servant. That's servantship
And
right there.
and you did. You took care. We had a guest for for last week, and I just called you and said, there's
Yes.
no. I mean,
I was like, and I'm thinking back in my mind, I'm like, probably the last thing I'm thinking about
yeah.
the show and the guests. I mean, I love the guests. I don't want to think that we just talk, but
Yeah.
it's just like that was not even irrelevant right now. I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
Missy, was
Yeah.
okay. And
Yeah. It
and that's what we have
it's
to do. We have to just sometimes put ourselves to the side. Now I'm gonna admit, after I got off the phone with Barbara, I did cry like a baby.
oh,
Okay. I owned it. I had to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you
And
have
yeah,
to. You just. I
yeah.
was a basket case for days.
Yeah. It
Um,
took me a few days to,
and
and still,
still this
it's
morning
gonna
coming
take.
down.
Yeah.
This morning, and when the subject on the radio was, "Are you busy or are you being productive?" and I was like, "But that was a pet subject."
I mean, but
And the
she's always
tears
going to be around.
and
That's
the
why I said she's
tears.
always going to be there.
She's
Reminded.
always going to be with us,
Yeah.
and to be able to talk about her, and but that's not the loss.
No,
I can't imagine in a split second, just because somebody had gone the wrong way on an interstate, and
that is,
the police had been informed that there was a driver going westbound on the eastbound interstate,
yeah.
but they just didn't get there in time to get this car. If it had been at night,
Mhm.
then of course, then I went, well, if it had happened at night, it would have been she would have, they wouldn't have happened, because everybody would have been flashing their lights at this car going the wrong way, and probably they were flashing their lights at them, but of course the driver wouldn't see them because it was still daylight,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah. The daylight, you don't really get. Yeah.
you're not,
Oh,
and this woman was killed, and Pat and her mom.
yeah. When you told me about Pat, her and her mother, I was like, oh
and her
no.
mom
Oh,
and her mom had just gotten she had been she had been struggling with some things, some health issues, and she was on the road to recovery.
see?
Yeah.
Even, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so in one fell swoop, they lost a sister, because her mom, and had aunts and uncles. So there was aunts and uncles and cousins, and so
And the,
there was
what? And
now,
the
so
Pat
that's so
had
the
her.
great
Pat had
grandmother,
children. Yeah.
Pat had kids and grandkids, and just new grandkids,
Yeah.
all in
So
one. How so family, just
well, before
yeah.
we sign off, I want to
Yes.
first of all just put out a prayer and just to let people know, please, look out. Say that if you light a candle, whatever you do for Pat's family,
Yeah.
because I always tell people it's rough enough that we lose the friend,
Yeah.
the business partner. She was so much of a lot of things,
Yeah.
like I said in the video. But it's another thing the family has to, continue to move on,
Right.
and that's difficult. And we
Yeah.
both know that, Pat. It takes that
Yeah.
time. I mean, I'm calling you Pat. Lord have mercy,
Yeah. Yeah.
Barbara. We
Yeah.
know, we know, Barbara, that it takes that time that the family
Yeah.
has to go through what they have to go through. So
Yeah.
please, reach out. And that if that little voice is telling you to reach out, send a
Right.
note, whatever. Please
Do
do it.
yeah. Do
Don't
it.
let it stop. That's one thing
Yeah.
I'm asking. I'm like Barbara now. I'm being really adamant about this.
Yeah.
If something is right that it puts in your heart to say, I want to reach out to Barbara Ellis just to tell I love her. Or I want to reach
Yeah.
out, to
Yeah.
Pat's family, or how can
Yeah.
I reach out?
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
If somebody's name pops into your brain, do it. Do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one more
So
question, Barbara. I'm
yes.
curious, because I know you and Pat started the Riches show,
The
that
Everyday Riches
Everyday
show.
Riches. So
Yeah.
what do you decide? Did you decide yet? You're still thinking?
I know I'm going to do it. I'm going to continue to do it.
Proud of you.
I'm thinking right now that I might have rotating hosts for a while, to just
Yeah.
like they do on Jeopardy.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
have some rotating hosts.
Yeah.
So my host today, Jason, and so I said to him, I said, Jason, would you like to host with me, and you bring on a guest? And he went, oh, I will do that. So
See?
it's going to be a bit of a surprise for me. But the funny thing is that he sent me a note. He said, I have to tell you, one of the people that, when you said that to me, that one of the people I said I was going to reach out to, that, hey, I'm going to be doing this show, the Barbara and Friends show. And the response back from the person he thought of was, how do you know Barb? So I know them. I know this person, but I don't know the person, because he said it's going to be a surprise. So now tomorrow is going to be a bit of a surprise, and I'm intrigued. So
Oh,
because so it's going to be fun. So it's going to be a fun show. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Jason's in charge.
I love it. Well, I'm just glad that you're gonna move on
I'm
from
going to
there, because
move
I
on.
know I know Pat would want that to keep
Yeah.
continue on, and
It
you're bringing the in for that.
Yeah, it's going to have to change a little bit, just because so much of it was in Pat's computer. I don't have access to it.
Yeah, but you
So
can start. Yeah.
so I'm gonna change the fonts a little bit, because I'm gonna have to change the graphic, because I
Mhm.
don't have access to it. So
Okay.
I'm gonna make a new graphic. But the Everyday Riches show is still going to change because it is all about everyday riches.
Yes.
And to embrace them. So that is going to stay the same, but the look is going to have to change a little bit, just because I don't have access, because it was all in pets. So which is a little thing in the space of things. So
well, this is wonderful, and I'm just going to put it out there for everybody. You know, if you want to be a revolving host for Barbara, or a
let me
guest
know
on Everyday Riches, let her know. Reach out to her so we can continue the legacy of the show for Pats, in honor of Pat. So I'm so glad you're holding it up.
I'm gonna keep doing it.
So any last words? Because what I want to do is, after you say your last words, I'm going to play the video one more time. That's going to end our show, so people can, like I said, we are doing a memory for Pat. So any last words, Barbara?
You know, just be true to yourself, and take time to be still. And if you're watching this, put a little note in the comment that replay, and take time to be still. You won't regret it.
Oh, look at that already.
Hey,
Miss Luana Bradford.
That would be wonderful.
Yes.
Send me a note on Messenger.
See, we put it out there. We put it out there.
Put it out there.
And see, the angels are coming. The angels are coming.
Yeah.
Okay, lady. I love you so very much. I give you the virtual hugs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This has been
so
awesome.
glad we had our show today. I was like, I got to be honest, I was a little selfish. I said, I miss Barbara. I hope we can come on today and just talk.
Yeah.
So we did.
Here we are.
So we'll see everybody next week. I think we might have it. Well, we got to see what we're going to be doing. We might have a guest. We might come back on again, just you and I, and do some other topics, and we'll talk about it. Okay. As we always say, what do you always say, Barbara? Happiness, you want it to be the norm, right?
You want happiness to be the norm, not the exception. And you're in charge of your happiness.
Remember that.
You're in charge.
Love you.
Today it's a Pat and Barb show.